Welcome back. So, how do you maintain a high frequency all day? This was another question that was posed in the comment section, and I just want to remind you, keep asking the questions. Write your questions in the comment section so that I can help you with your real life situations, right? Okay, so how do you maintain a good vibration all day? The example that was given is that she says, I wake up, I watch cat videos, and I'm happy. And who doesn't love cat videos? I am really partial to a good cat videos. I think they're adorable. But then I go about my day and something happens. People are peopling, gets on my nerves. I mean, she didn't say those exact things, but those are my thought processes. Okay, and then I drop my vibration and I feel myself getting like upset, right? And so here's how to maintain a good vibration all day. So in the example that I described in the question, you can tell that she's basing her, and this is something we all do, let's be real, admit it, we let whatever we're observing control of what our vibration is. So we see something good, we're happy. We see something negative, we're sad, okay? Now, to maintain a good frequency, a good vibrational frequency, we gotta change that. We have to be intentional. We have to be intentional about our frequency, and we need to protect it because it's so precious. You are the creator of your life, and as such, the level of your well-being, your frequency will determine everything that comes from you. You are the seed that creates everything that comes to you, and as such, that's your highest priority. Sorry, I feel like my shirt needs, okay. We'll just do this. Thanks for your patience. Gotta look presentable. Okay, so being that you are the creator of everything that you're experiencing, your number one priority is maintaining your well-being, your vibrational frequency. Now, here is how you can do that. You do things that raise your frequency, which is number one, gratitude or appreciation. Someone said, and I love this, they said, gratitude is not a good word for me. Appreciation is what I prefer. 100%. If you prefer the word appreciation, if that's easier for you to connect with, it's just as good. It's the same thing. It really gets to the same feeling. Appreciation. Focus on what you appreciate. Focus on what you think is good. What you truly feel like, oh, I'm so glad about this, right? That's number one. Gratitude, appreciation. That will raise your frequency. That takes your frequency up to 600 or so hertz, which is, if I remember correctly, higher than love and on the same frequency as joy. So when you're in joy and when you're in appreciation and gratitude, that's the same frequency. What else you need to do is you need to actively cut off the things that bring you down. Now, we know that we create our lives, but we also know how vulnerable we are, how easily we can shift to being focused on the external. So we have to curate a good environment for ourselves. That means a great practical way to do this, go through your timeline and unfollow and block anything that brings you down. Because just seeing those things that bring you down is enough. You know, it doesn't take much repetition if you focus on like repetition. When you do it intentionally, doing it up to 400 times feels like a lot. But if you're just watching your timeline for hours in a day, you can add up 400 times of negative content pretty quickly. Now, we need to be aware of how vulnerable we are to external influences, how easily we can be tricked into being affected by it. So we have to be really, really mindful. What am I exposing myself to? So For me, I have to be really mindful to be surrounded by content that keeps my heart soft. Anything that makes me bitter, makes me feel like people are bad, people are negative, or, these things I don't want. I want to keep my heart soft. And so I have to maintain an environment that can protect my heart, right? So I don't want to expose myself to things that is going to make me cold and callous. So go through your timeline. Get rid of anything that's negative. Get rid of anything that makes you feel upset, that makes you feel sad, that takes your energy. Things that make you feel helpless, things that make you feel powerless, things that make you feel like life is bad, life is hard. All of those things, remove them. I spent about a year actively doing this. For a whole year, I went through my timeline, maybe not every day, but a lot, every time. Because sometimes you go through, you do it one day, and then the next day there's like new stuff that you didn't know about. There's always something new. So it takes a while. Dedicate like maybe a month at least, like dedicate some time to this. Right. So your environment, what you watch, what you expose yourself to, all of these things really affect you. What you watch on Netflix or whatever streaming services you have. What do you watch? And are you watching true crime? Okay. Now, unless you want to create that in your personal life, don't watch that stuff. Do not watch that stuff. It's poison for your heart. It's poison for your mind. And out of all things in the world, if you are choosing to look at the most horrific things, like I did, I'm 100% guilty of this, then that is what you're creating. We don't know our greatness. You have so much power. Don't give power to the stuff that you don't want. Don't give power to the stuff that you don't want. And that brings me to the next point. When your eyes or attention falls on something that you don't want, we got to become great at reframing things. Become great at reframing things. Why? Because we have a habit already of framing things in a way that makes us feel small. Now, I'm just talking for myself, but I see this in a lot of other people as well. I used to frame things in a way that made me feel small, made me feel helpless, made me feel like the world is a dangerous place. It's a horrible place. Life is hard and difficult. Everything is a struggle. Now, if that's your standard go-to definition of things, then we have to actively reframe that. Okay. Anytime you see something that makes you upset, reframe it. It needs to mean something else to you. It needs to mean something else. So today, if something challenges me, I say, okay, I know there's a blessing in this. I know that the short-term challenge is leading me to a long-term huge benefit. And because I decide to frame it that way, that's what I get. Yeah. We have that power. When you decide to frame it a certain way and you convince yourself of something, you have faith in something, then that's what you're going to get. So you might as well frame it in a way that works for you as opposed to something that doesn't work for you. Now, another thing is, I think this might be a whole different topic actually, but how people treat you. So someone might be rude. I'll just get into it here. I don't think it warrants a whole different video. I might do an additional one later, but so someone is rude to you, someone treats you bad, whatever. Here's the thing. Even if we don't see how it's possible, it is a reflection of our energy. Now, in what way is that a reflection of our energy? Could be many things. Could be that in relation to this particular person, we feel a certain way. So for example, for me, when I used to go to the doctor, I would feel so vulnerable there. I would feel so small and so vulnerable. And so the doctors that I would go to, they would just be rude and just be like, it would just be such an unpleasant experience, because everywhere else I have great interactions with people. But in the doctor's office, it was just, I was really uncomfortable. It was just really unpleasant. And so I had to look at what is the unconscious stuff that I'm bringing into the situation. And so I didn't do this consciously, obviously, but I had to look at, okay, when I go there, I do feel vulnerable. I do feel powerless. I do feel uncomfortable, because I don't want to see myself as having any kind of health issues or problems or needing somebody's support in this, right? I'm uncomfortable with this situation, and so it becomes an uncomfortable situation, right? So it could be that. It could be the energy that you bring in. It could be you're having a bad day, okay? Sometimes nowadays, because I, really invest in my mental state, but every now and then I'll have a bad day and someone might be rude to me. And, and I'm thinking, well, this never happens. I'm always nice to people. Why are they rude to me? Well, that particular day, I maybe wasn't feeling very good. And so they were just reflecting whatever vulnerability I was feeling or whatever thing that I was feeling on that particular day. Now, it could also be a deeper pattern that is not dependent on the mood of the day. It could be that in general, you feel like, if your self-esteem is low, in general, you just feel like I'm not worthy of respect or care. Sorry, let me just fix that. It could be that you feel that in general, you're not worthy of respect or care, right? Now, you don't think that in your conscious mind because you're just as worthy as everyone else, right? You know that. But in your heart, you feel like you are not as worthy as other people. And so they will reflect that back to you. So they won't treat you with the respect that you actually do deserve. They might not treat you with the same consideration that you deserve because you're not embodying the knowing that you're worthy of that. When you get to knowing that and embodying that, people can't help but see it in you. People see it in you. The way that they will treat you will change. Now, changing that is a whole other topic in itself, and I'll try not to get into too many topics in one video. Okay, let's go back to maintaining a good vibration. Now, you can intentionally do the things that you know is going to make you feel good. So, gratitude, avoiding the things that are bringing you down, being mindful of what you look at, what you consume mentally, but also who do you hang out with. Pay attention to how you feel in a certain situation, because people can bring out different sides of us. We have a whole range of what we're capable of, right? And just some people bring out more of the good stuff and some people bring out more of the bad stuff. So we want to put more emphasis on the people that bring out more of the good, because the more we stay in the good, we create more neural pathways there. Okay, so we strengthen that. So it's not like our range is always the same, but it's like if you spend years just focusing intentionally on the good and being around people that bring out the best in you, over time, the negative neural pathways, they will atrophy. If you don't walk down a specific type of belief for a while, it's gonna go away. But every time we put our focus there, we strengthen it. Now, another thing is, it's a really important one that people often neglect, is the need for getting rid of old things. The things that you have in your house, the things that your eyes fall on, the things that catch your attention, even if it's like something you see every day, especially actually if you see it every day and you don't even realize it, those things have an effect on you. It's just you're so used to the effect that it has on you that you don't realize that there is an effect at all. It's on a subconscious level. So get rid of old clothes, get rid of old stuff that you don't like, get rid of anything that you don't like, get rid of anything. You don't want to even see things that remind you of a time when you weren't feeling good, that remind you of a time when you were unhappy, that remind you of someone who wasn't kind to you. You don't even want to see those things. What's going to happen when you do that? You're creating space for something new. Every time your eyes land on something that you're used to seeing, but that has a connection, emotional connection to a time when you weren't feeling good, that keeps you there. That keeps you in that vibration. So by just getting rid of it, you've now cleared the space. You have now cleared the space for something new to emerge. There is a limit to what new positive things you can bring into your life when you're holding on to negative things. And by negative things, I don't mean necessarily that they have to be causing you pain necessarily. It could just be that they don't benefit you anymore. Old clothes, anything that's broken, anything that you were gifted that you don't really like, things that are just laying around your house, taking up space. Get rid of those things. So many blessings are going to come in when you allow things to go away, when you're willing to let go of things. Now, there was something else on this topic that I forgot. Okay, it's not coming to me. So that's how to maintain your frequency. It takes practice, it takes intentionality, and you have to care. You really have to care. You can't leave it into someone else's hands. We do have blind spots. We do have blind spots, and we are really, really vulnerable to outside influences. Be aware of that. Let's not be proud and say, oh, I'm not affected by things. Yes, we are affected, but we're affected on a subconscious level. Now, a lot of people, this is so important. We think that when we see commercials, when we see adverts, we think it doesn't affect me. Because if the ad is saying, we see a Coca-Cola ad, and it doesn't make us want to rush out and buy a Coca-Cola. So we think it didn't affect me. But what did it do? It created a subconscious association. It showed us a loving family, maybe a happy situation. It created an emotional association with the brand. And seeing the brand enough times creates a trust. We feel like we know them, right? When we see someone on TV so many times, we feel like we know them. A lot of celebrities, we feel like we know them because we've seen them so many times. We trust them. We feel a warmth towards them. So a lot of the times we're programmed straight into the subconscious. So I don't know if I've been clear enough about this. Not every new information, not every programming goes through the conscious mind. This brings me into how propaganda works. So I'm going to have to make a whole different video on that, because it's important that we know how that works so that we can spot when it's happening, because it's happening not just in communist regimes, it's happening everywhere. It's happening here, it's happening in your country, and I'll make a video on that. Thank you. I hope this was helpful. Keep the questions coming. I love it. Bye.